Hare Krishna. Violence is too small a weapon against evil. When we see people doing evil acts such as terrorism, mass murders, genocides, at such times we may feel that violence is essential to curb such people who seem to be personifications of the devil, who seem to be satanic. And others may say, no, violence is not going to solve the problem. That there are so now sometimes there are valid considerations about whether the use of violence is justified or not. So the point is that it is true that for dealing with the evil in this world, violence is not an adequate weapon. It is too small a weapon for countering evil. The Bhagavad Gita is spoken on a war field, and at the where Arjuna was actually facing evil. There were people who were doing publicly what we in today's language could very well call as gang rapes. And in spite of that, they were ruling insolently and rejecting those who were trying for peace. And they, after they insolently rejected, the Kauravas rejected everything, all the peace endeavors of the Pandavas. They were left with no opportunity except to fight. And yet, before the fight, when Arjuna lost heart on seeing his relatives assembled on two sides, about to fight till death, at that time, Arjuna realizing when Krishna instructed Arjuna, and when Krishna instructs Arjuna, Arjuna asks, what is it, a force that takes me away from duty? He asks in 3.36. And Krishna replies, Kamesha Krodhesha. And then he concludes that section, the third chapter, and the section about selfish desire, about lust, in 3.43. He says, Evam buddhe param buddhva samsthabhyatmanam atmana jahi shatrum mahabaho kamarupam durasadam. Jahi Shatrum, conquer over the enemy. Oh Arjuna, you are Mahabaho. And who is the enemy? You are a powerfully armed person. The enemy is Kama Rupam Durasadam. It is lust, and it's a very formidable enemy. It is almost impossible to overcome. And yet, oh Arjuna, you must overcome it. And how will you overcome it, Arjuna? He says that Evam Buddhe Param Buddhva Samsthabhyatmanam Atmana. That you situate yourselves in with your intelligence in transcendence at the spiritual level and thus act. So the Bhagavad Gita's essential message is a call for the inner battle against our lower desires. At the same time, the Bhagavad Gita also recognizes the broader reality. The next chapter itself talks about outer battle when Krishna says that dharma samsthapanarthaya, that paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Krishna says that he has come to establish dharma and to destroy the miscreants and to deliver the saintly. So Krishna does talk about an external dimension of violence also, and in the specific context of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna wants Arjuna to carry out that mission. So Arjuna agrees at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Karishye vachanam tava. But the essential call of the Gita is that we need to counter our inner enemy by cultivating transcendence. And for those people who are utterly opposed to transcendence, who are living in ignorance, who are perpetuating ignorance, and who are promoting, who are committing violence and perpetrating atrocities on the innocent in their ignorance and arrogance, against such people violence is required. So the Bhagavad Gita sanctions violence but doesn't limit the solution to violence alone. So violence is too small a weapon to counter evil. That does not mean violence is unnecessary. In certain exceptional situations, violence may indeed be necessary. That may be the only way to curb certain evil forces. But we should not think that just by violence the problem will be solved. There is violence that may be required to curb certain extremely perverted minds and mentalities among some people, but that mentality will brew again if the underlying problems are not dealt with. And those problems can be dealt with only by raising the human consciousness from ignorance towards transcendence. So the essential solution is the cultivation of knowledge which takes one from ignorance towards transcendence, which brings out the selfless side within people and enables peoples to live more humanely, to live more spiritually. So for those who are utterly opposed to that, against them violence will be required. But violence is necessary sometimes, but violence is never the complete solution. It is never the sufficient solution. It's too small a weapon. We need for countering evil the weapon of transcendence, the cultivation of transcendence within us, and the sharing of the wisdom by which others can also similarly cultivate transcendence. And a call to transcendence is the essential universal message of the Bhagavad Gita. Thank you. Hare Krishna.